one of the things I thought we could do during this time is some weaving. And it's a really simple process that you can use any material for. So one of our challenges right now is that a lot of us were caught without materials on hand. But certainly I know at our house we are still getting groceries. We're still getting deliveries from Amazon and other places with groceries. So we've got packaging materials galore. And so first thing, you're going to need some scissors or a utility knife. If you're using a utility knife, then you'll want to have like a ruler or something that is a straight edge. And then I have made like a cutting board for myself out of an old thick piece of cardboard that I had. If it's the corrugated kind, you might want to stack up a couple of them because those are actually like thinner layers with pockets of air in between them, and you can actually cut through them pretty easily. Where it's like the pressed cardboard is thicker and more dense, and it takes a lot to cut all the way through that. You want to be really careful. I tend to just raise it up only a slight amount. I use very little of the blade out. That way I'm not cutting up my cutting board unnecessarily. And especially if you are working on like corrugated, then you don't have to worry as much of how much you're cutting through. I also lay like an extra sheet underneath my mat just to make sure. So you're gonna need a loom to work on. And some of you may have lap looms, and you can certainly use those. A really easy loom to make is a cardboard loom. So here I've just cut myself a piece of cardboard, just randomly decided on a size that I thought would be good. When you're cutting out your loom, you want to consider that you're actually going to probably start weaving somewhere around here unless you're leaving it on the loom, which is totally fine too. But if you're intending to cut it off the loom, then you're going to need to tie it off on both ends. And so you'll start like about an inch or two down from either end. And then also you don't want to weave like right on the edge either. I with the cardboard looms, I like to leave a little extra room on the sides just for strength and stability. So the next thing, I cut my whatever shape I want to weave on. You need to cut little slits, and you want equal number of slits on the top and the bottom. So what I did, I just got my ruler, I measured like how wide it was, and then I put a slit every centimeter. And I put 18 slits on the top, and then in the same spot, 18 slits on the bottom. That way I've got a nice even number. I can tie them off together. But if you end up with an uneven number, it's not the end of the world. You can just tie it off to its neighbors. Totally fine. I've done that before. Then once you've got your slits, and I just took my scissors and just cut like a 1/4 of an inch. That's all you need. You don't need to do like a big long slit. It just needs to be enough that it can catch the thread. For weaving, we have a warp, which is our vertical lines going down. That's the base structure of your weaving. That's what you're going to be weaving through. And then you have your weft, and that's the pieces that are going across. That's the material that you're weaving with. For the warp, you want to find something that doesn't have a lot of stretch, that isn't going to loosen up over time. So like cotton twine, hemp twine, any sort of cord that is not stretchy. You can use old wires and cords. You could use Plarn as well. If you're using Plarn, I would say it's probably better to use the looped one, because the single strand, one long single straight strand, has these weak points right where it's joined together, and if you pull on that really hard, it can snap. So I would say use the looped, will be stronger for you. You can use yarn, you just want to pull it pretty taut, because it will start to loosen as you work with it then. So to start it off, I simply tied a knot. To do that, I looped through several times. So to create like a fisherman's knot. So I looped it several times and then just sort of pulled so that it was creating one big heavy knot. And that will be enough so that it secures it on this end. And that's just to get it started. And then I wound it around. So I started this one just so you wouldn't have to watch me. So I'm just taking it over and around, up and down, sliding it into those slots. So now on the back side, I have this end here that I have the knot, and I'm going to cut this one nice and long as well. And I'm going to try to create a fisherman's knot that is close to that end, just for extra security. So I loop that through several times, and then I start pushing the knot and holding it in place up near the edge and sliding that knot so that it's up against the cardboard now. So you can see that. If it's not perfect, that's okay, because I've come up with another way to secure it, because now I have these two ends here, and I'm just going to knot these together as well. And that's just going to create a little extra security and tension on my warp so that it doesn't come undone on me. So I'm just going to knot it a couple times. There we go. And at the end, I can just cut this extra off. It's not a big deal. So now we have our loom and we're ready to weave.